Hello students, we're going to learn to play the song Rockin Rabbits. We are continuing our musical journey by learning to read and play melodic and harmonic intervals. What are harmonic and melodic intervals? Let's look at each one separately. Melodic intervals you already know how to play. That's what we've learned thus far in the book. Melodic intervals are one note to the very next note, and they are played separately. Let me give you an example here. Here are some vocal leases. So let's look at this example here. So we have C going to E, E going to G, G going to C. All of those are intervals. It's one note to another note. So do you see how they're separated? That means we played them separately. Right? So they're not played at the same time. So melody means something that you can sing. That's what a melody is. And so melodies, like the human voice, can only sing one note at a time. So the word melodic comes from the word melody. So like the human voice, like I said, you can only sing one note at a time. Now if you have a choir, obviously you can sing multiple notes at a time, but the individual voice can only sing one note at a time. So what's the difference between that and harmonic intervals? Harmonic intervals are the exact same as melodic in terms of distance. So for instance, C to D is 2 letters, so that is a second. C to E is 3 letters, C, D, E. It takes 3 letters to get to E, and so that's why it's a third. C to F, 4, C to G, 5. Those are intervals. Those don't change. The difference between melodic and harmonic is that harmonic is played at the same time. You cannot sing those 2 notes at the same time. Even though I try, I can only sing 1 note at a time. But the piano can play 2 notes at a time, and when you have 2 notes played at the same time, that is called harmony. And harmony that's where the word harmonic comes from. So harmonic intervals are 2 notes played, 2 or more notes played at the same time, and melodic notes are 1 note played at a time. So only 1 note played at a time. So let's look at an example of a harmonic interval. So we have this beautiful book here. So let's look at this. Whoops, that's a harmonic interval right there. We have a triad, right? So that means 3 notes played at a time. So we have a note, a note, a note. Now look at this here. This is important. Unlike the melodic intervals, when we play a harmonic interval, they're all lined up. You see this? They're all lined up. They're stacked like snowmen. Okay? So look in your book here on Rockin Rabbits, and if you look on measure 3 and measure 7, you will see C and G played at the same time. So notice how they're lined up. They're lined up all the way. And you'll notice too that we have the D sharp there too. We're going to talk about that in a second. So we have those 3 notes. So if you drew a line from the bottom note all the way up, just a straight line all the way up, that line would cross the C, the G, and the D sharp. So those notes are played at the exact same time, and that means harmony. So the right hand is playing a melodic interval. I said D sharp. I was playing C sharp. That's D sharp earlier. That's what I should have played. That's a melody. But our left hand is playing 2 notes at the same time. And that's where the harmony comes in. And so every time I play more than 1 note, that means that's a harmonic interval. So if you play more than 1 note at a time, that's a harmonic interval. So melodic, harmonic. So that's the difference. All right, so now let's look at this song here. And first, let's practice our rhythm. And then we'll talk about the notes here in a second. So first, we're in 4/4 time. Right hand, left hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you're practicing your rhythm and you have harmonic intervals, that means you have to play both hands at the same time, just like I did there. So pause the video here and please practice that. Welcome back. Now let's talk about our notes. So this is a great song. So if you'll look on the 3rd and 7th measure, we have that beautiful D sharp. We just talked about sharps 2 songs ago with church bells and floating clouds. If you need to refresh yourself on sharps, please refer back to those videos. But we have a D sharp, and we're going to play E and G at the same time we do that. Now you'll notice that E and G is a whole note, so you hold it for 3 or 4 counts, and so you hold it for those 2 notes, but also that C and G is tied to the next measure, right? So that means you're going to hold it for the equivalent of both of those notes. They're both whole notes, so that means you're going to hold it for 8 counts. Oh my goodness, that's a long time. So it's going to sound like this. Okay, and then 7 and 8 is going to look like this. So notice how I'm holding my left hand down the entire time. I'm not letting it up. You see, I'm not doing that. So you're going to hold it down the whole time. So that's 7 and 8 measures. So let's play this song now, just the notes. That's it. Now let's do everything. So we are in 4/4 time, so that means we're going to count 4 beats per measure. We have a forte dynamic marking. That means we're going to play loud. On the measure 3 and measure 7, we have a D sharp. That's that note there. And on measure 3 and measure 7 in the left hand, we have a harmonic interval of a 5th, right? So that means we're going to play those 2 notes at the exact same time we play the D sharp. And that 5th, the C and G, is tied to measure 4. And then on measure 7, the C and G is tied to measure 8. Both of those are whole notes, so you're going to hold it down for the equivalent of 8 beats. So 2 counts of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So here we go, counting in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like always, students, happy practicing.